Good evening, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Something to Think About broadcast. I am your host, Ace Randall. As you guys come into the room, please greet me. Let me know that you are in the room. You are in this Sunday evening. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend and getting ready to start your week off great. Just come on in, as your parents raised you to say hello when you come in the room. So just greet me wherever you are and whatever part of the world you're in so I can acknowledge you and tell you good evening. Hello, 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 hello. Everybody that's on Facebook, on YouTube, on Periscope/Twitter. Thank you guys for coming in. Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you guys. I'm not going to be on too long, hopefully, but I just want to kind of come on and share. Just want to come on and share with you guys a little bit. And share with your followers as you come in. Like and share. Come on, like and share. And let's get this word out because I want to share something with you that is going to encourage you. All right. Come on in. Thank you, guys. More grace to everybody that's on. I hope your Sunday is going well. I know we're getting ready to start a new week, and I pray it's going to be eventful and progressive and enlightening and empowering, and doors open to you as you're going on into your new week. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, I am your host, Ace Randall. This is the Something to Think About broadcast for you all that come on late and might need to watch the replay. I want to greet you as well. Thank you guys for coming in and watching and sharing. First, I want to give a shout out to Madam CEO herself, Terry Wilson McQuarrie. I was almost going to say Dr. Terry Wilson McQuarrie. Maybe that might be a prophetic word to getting your doctorate degree if you don't already have one. But Terry Wilson McQuarrie, I have the opportunity to be a part of her Madam CEO Inc. presents the CEO Circle Dining Experience here in Buckhead, Georgia. And it was an amazing event. I got a chance to finally meet her face to face. It was funny enough that when she pulled up, as glamorous as she always is, in her Bentley, when I greeted her by Madam CEO, and I said, "I'm Ace." She said, "I know who you are," and it's interesting. We have never met face to face. But it's interesting that how a connection would be when you haven't met someone face to face, and it feels like you've been knowing them for years. And technically, we have been connected through Facebook for quite a few years, and this is just our first opportunity to meet face to face. And so it was indeed an honor to see you in person and to experience your event. I'll be on the lookout on some things that's going to be coming up with me and her in the future. So it's going to be some amazing things. I kind of want to get started. I know you guys have already read the description and saw the title of this live. And what I'm talking about today is finding where you belong. In other words, know your tribe. Find and connect to your tribe. How I came about this topic was one of my sisters, or what have you. We were talking about the experience from the event last night, and I was just really kind of sharing with her my experience and the people that I connected to and was able to network and things of that sort. And just building new relationships and new potential business relationships as well. And it was just a blessing to be around similar or like-minded individuals. And so we were just really able to kind of share what we did for a living, what type of business we have, where we're going, or what have you, some of our challenges and hiccups that we were having and things of that sort. And And the thing that was uh, the most empowering to me is no, speaking to people that understand the language that you speak, right? And so I was also afforded an opportunity. Also, I want to give a shout out to Apostle Angela J. Holmes as well. She afforded me an opportunity to be a part of she actually received access to Bishop Chidi Jake's leadership summit that was just last month. And it was so empowering. Oh my God, it blessed my life so much. And it was really empowering to get the impartations that I was receiving through that. And it really just to hear people that are millionaires and billionaires, a lot of them are saying a lot of the same things that I have been sharing with you all on this live. And what baffled me is a lot of the things that I give to you on this live was based on life experience, but also based on revelation or wisdom from God. I can't take credit for that. And so to hear people that are doing well and have been doing well for many years are literally saying a lot of the same things. It was really amazing to me to let me know that I'm on the right track, I'm on the right trajectory. And so again, what that said to me is I'm going up across a journey in my life of finding where I belong and knowing my tribe. And in the midst of knowing your tribe, as I said earlier, you find that you speak the same language. You might have been born in a different location and you might have some of the same blood and livestock in you, but then when you get connected to them, you will start speaking the language, or you'll hear them speaking the language and you will understand it from the dialect or the tone, and it might be slightly different. Like for an example, when you look at natural languages from Spanish to Portuguese, some other languages, even some Italian, even some Swahili have similar dialects that some words you can pick up and they will mean almost or similar meanings because of the some of the languages kind of meld together. Like from what I understand, I believe Swahili has a dialect of Spanish or a Spanish dialect or Portuguese dialect mixed with Aramaic and another language that mixed up Swahili. And so with that being said, you could possibly go over to other countries and might not speak fluently the language, but because there's certain words that pick up and they sound similar to your language, you're able to kind of articulate certain things to communicate. Same thing within the world that you belong in, be it maybe you're musically inclined or you're artistic or you're business inclined or you're a cook. And when you get around other cooks or you get around other people in the arts or that do music or that play, it's like it's something that lights up in you and you get excited and you get enamored with other people that think like you and have been through some of the same things and can enlighten you and give you some tips as well as they give you you give them some tips for some things that you learned. And it's empowering when you're able to find where you belong. But the interesting thing about finding where you belong, especially as a creatives are people that tends to be oddballs, be ones that stand out amongst the crowd, and they usually sometimes have to walk alone. 9 times out of 10, you don't fit in because you stand out too much. You've been labeled as weird, or we don't get down with you because you don't do what we do, and you don't like what we like. And I give a funny concept to a organization, a church organization that slogan. One of their slogans is "You can't join in, you got to be born in it," right? And so I was a part of that organization for a number of years, not my whole life, but a number of years. I'll say pretty much from the end of elementary school up until my senior year in high school. And because I wasn't born in it, meaning my family bloodline was not interconnected and woven into the fabric of that type of organization, that I never fit in. You know, I had some people that I was cool with or what have you, but I never fit in. I was never a part of the different events. I wanted to really be a part of the events. I never wanted to go to the different traveled events and conventions and all that stuff. I never wanted to be a part of that because it wasn't really that gravitating to me or what have you. I never really lived up to those particular standards. I never really, you know, I had certain things about it that I did like, but I never fit in or what have you. And then as I started to examine for years as I was growing up as an adult, I started to notice in many ways I never fit in. I didn't fit in with a lot of my family members. I didn't fit in with a lot of people in my community. You know, I didn't always run the streets like a lot of the people that I was connected to or what have you. I did certain things, you know, but I wasn't doing what they were doing. I always stood out. I always didn't fit in or what have you. It wasn't intentional. You know, sometimes I was trying to fit in. Sometimes I was trying to, you know, get down. But then some things about me as an individual just was like, I don't connect with that. I don't get down with that. I'm not going to do that because I value my life or I value this or whatever. And I never really fit in at particular points in my life. And so for many years, I had to walk alone. I had people that I was associates with. I had people that I was friends with, but a lot of them I still wasn't doing what they were doing. I still stood out or what have you from them. And so in a lot of ways, I walked alone or I walked with a very small circle of people. And even some of the circle of people that I did get, that I was interconnected with because of where my life was going and headed, a lot of them did not understand for years of the mentality and the mindset that I have. And a lot of them still to this day don't understand the mindset that I have or the way that I think or the way that I do things. And so being a creative, being somebody that has artistic abilities or that is has some sort of level of intelligence or education or what have you, or just, you know, not trying to live up to the status quo. This is very often. Sometimes you're never gonna fit in, and sometimes you're never gonna walk alone until you find where you belong. So sometimes in our lives, we are trying to belong in circles and around people that don't understand us. So when you start talking about your expensive dreams or what you want to do in life, and the people that you're around ain't never really did nothing, ain't trying to do nothing, ain't, you know, accomplish anything but the same thing they've been doing ever since they came out the womb. It's like when they hear you talking, oh girl, he just talking. Oh man, he just talking. Oh yeah, girl, she just talking. You know, and they don't understand you because they're not a part of your tribe. And so in the midst of you trying to fit in, the more you're trying to fit in, the more you stand out and the more you just look odd and the more they talk about you and like, oh, he just, you know, he always want to be somebody and always trying, like, he need to know where he come from. She need to know where she comes from and be, you know, be what we do around here. I give you an example. When I left one of my home churches growing up, the same church I just mentioned, when I left, I had somebody literally say to me, "We don't take lightly to our people leaving." I was like, wow. I was like, first, I didn't belong. Y'all never hardly liked me. You know, talked about me and my family like a dog. But now that I'm transitioning on, you don't take lightly to me leaving. I found that very, very interesting, right? And so it seems to be that when you start to make transitions and moves or what have you, then they're trying to find a way to keep you in when they already know they didn't like you in the first place. They didn't want you to be involved, to do anything or whatever. Want to keep their foot on your neck, and maybe that was the thrill to them. Maybe that was the thing that fueled their dysfunction when they know that they can try to manipulate or be negative to someone and try to keep them down. But eventually it comes a point in time where you would disconnect or move on in your journey, and then you start finding yourself connecting to your tribe. Look at this image here. You have somebody that clearly stands out in the midst of this crowd, right? Everybody else is kind of dark or what have you. Because they're complete strangers. Let's just say they're complete strangers. But you see these beacons of dots that is connecting to certain individuals. And it's something about that beacon. That beacon kind of represents the thing that's in you that makes you the oddball, the thing that's in you that makes you a creative and that make you stand out. And it's something about you that will draw like-minded people, right? So that means that this is bad or good. Bad when you have negativity. Let's use this as a relationship example. When you have been in abusive, better relationships and you've allowed them to happen in your life, that thing, and you haven't been healed from it, that thing becomes like a magnet, a beacon, and it begins to draw those type of relationships to you. And then you find yourself constantly in relationships with abusive, verbally, physically abusive, manipulative type people, because that is the thing that's in you that is drawing that magnet, right? But when you have purpose in you, you have artistic abilities, or you're creative, or what have you, that is the thing that becomes the drawing magnet, or what have you, that you have desires for yourself, that you are evolving, and that you are growing. And in the midst of that, you're like, I'm out here and I got this thing and I got these abilities and I got these talents, but I don't know who to connect to. I'm going to tell you about myself that I can tell you about anybody else. For years, I used to like, God, let me find my tribe. Let me connect myself to further advanced people or like-minded people that I can be able to connect myself to, that I can be able to share or what have you. For a number of years, I was sharing my ideas and sharing things with people that had absolutely no clue. Now, some of them that was in the midst of that circle had my best interest at heart, even though they might not understood it or could relate to it. They were like, I understand, and they will find some kind of way to encourage me to keep going. I see you're going to be great and so on and so forth. Just keep going. Don't give up. God is going to bless you and so on and so forth. And they'll even see prophetically concerning my life, but they didn't know through experience or what they're going in their life to relate in any way of where I'm going in my journey, right? And so I was praying for years. Matter of fact, this was within the last 3 to 5 years. Actually 3 to 8 years, I was praying consistently, God, connect me with my tribe, not necessarily just a church but people that understand where I'm going and where I'm headed, and they can be able to bring language or articulate the thoughts that I'm having and these feelings that I'm having and what have you, because I can't put language fully to it. But when I start talking about it, it has its language within itself that they're able to interpret and bring understanding to where I am. And so I'm like, okay, God, bring me, where is my tribe? Where is the people that understand where I'm at? I'm a business owner. I am striving to, I am making long strides into my purpose. I am coming into understanding of my apostolic call as an apostle, even though I'm currently a prophet, or what have you, understanding where that is, and to bring language and understanding to that can actually help me along, but I can also help others along, right? And so for a long time, I had been longing to find a tribe right? But I had to go through these moments of walking alone. And so sometimes you have to walk alone and you have to keep going. Even when you don't find your tribe, even when you don't fit in, will you go it alone? Will you do it with you and God? Well, that ain't alone, so technically, but apart from human flesh or an individual or a friend, will you do it alone? Will you go after it, even if you got to walk this path and this journey with you and God alone? And that's what I had to do. When my mother didn't understand me, when my family didn't understand me, when my friends didn't understand me, and I had to isolate myself and cut myself off from people and silence myself from sharing my ideas with small-minded people because they couldn't understand it. This is how you know. This is how you know you share your expensive dreams with small-minded people. Well, I don't know. Maybe you might need to pray about it. Well, I don't know. You think that's a little bit too big for your britches? You didn't really come from much. Do you think you can you can really do all of that? I mean, can you really balance all of that and do what you're doing and work your job and do your ministry and all that stuff? I mean, maybe you might need to consider, just focusing on one thing. Or maybe you're doing too much and you need to rest. You need to slow down a little bit because you're getting a little too ahead of yourself. Maybe you need to slow down. But those are people that don't understand momentum. They don't understand going after your dreams, going after your goals, making it happen. I'm going to tell you about a movie because you all know that anybody that knows me from watching my lives, I get a lot of revelation from movies. And when I first watched that movie, God, I just had the name of it in my head and I just forgot it just that quick. The movie with Will Smith, when him and his son, Jaden Smith, they played in this movie together. And some of you guys are on the live. If you remember the name of it, please post it so I can remember what have you. He was going through it with him and his son. They ended up homeless, sleeping in shelters and hotels and even in the bathroom subway. And he got an opportunity for a job or what have you, but it was an internship. And anybody that knows internships, they do not pay. They do not pay you money. 99.9% of interns do not get paid because it is on the job learning, training, experience, or what have you. And it's still not guaranteed that you're going to get the job at the end of the training, but there will be learning experience that you can take from that to actually take that to another job. And so he went on to be a part of this brokerage and was excelling and trying to find a way to excel, even though he was struggling at all of that. And at the end of it, when he got the job and he broke down, I literally cried throughout the whole entire movie because that movie spoke volumes to a lot of things that has happened in my life as an individual or what have you. And so to see his drive and determination that he didn't allow his current circumstances to stop him and to cause him to not move forward in what it is that he was meant to be and what he was meant to do, that he kept going. He kept moving forward. And then because of his tenacity, because of him going forward and enduring and seeing it through to the finish, he got the job. And that was the blessing, but he was able to persevere and to keep going even when he has to walk alone. Even when he has to walk alone. Because again, like I said earlier, sometimes you're going to be around people that are not doing anything with themselves or not doing anything in their lives. And when you share your ideas with them, they will never fathom or understand what it is that you're doing or where you're going. And so they always want to give, basic level advice. Maybe you got to pray about that. You got to be careful. You got to, make sure you eat, make sure you get some rest. And I told somebody this because and excuse my vernacular, I had somebody that really, really pissed me off because they was telling me like, lately I've been working a lot of hours and it was like, you got to get some rest and this and whatever. You got to slow down and this and whatever. And I told them, I said, who stops a steam engine train to sleep? What train conductor stops a train that is on a trajectory? Let me be clear. That's on a trajectory that has a destination to get to sleep. None of them. It has not been done nowhere in history. The only time a train stops is when it makes stops in between to drop off a load. It doesn't stop for the conductor to sleep because there is a load that is on there that needs to get to a destination that is on a deadline that or what have you. You have when you have a large load or a lot of cars on the back of your train that you're pulling, you have to make sure that the speed of your train is at a heightened level because it has to be able to pull the weight of what it is that you're carrying. I let that be a revelation to you that if you are moving slow and you're not getting no momentum because you're not doing what you need to do to speed up because of the weight that you carry. The weight that you carry, that means, okay, let me explain it to you like this. You're thinking you're going 50 miles an hour, right? You think you're going 50 miles an hour, but you got 50 cars on this train, but you're not going 50 miles an hour. You're actually going 85 miles an hour, but because of the weight of what you carry, and it makes it look like the speed is reduced to 50 miles an hour. So that means that you got to amplify and go harder and go stronger to be able to pull the weight that you carry. So who's going to slow down and stop a train to sleep? When you slow down and you stop to rest, that stops your momentum and it takes you longer to build back up the momentum. It takes you longer to get back into the flow of things and almost starting all over again. Who got time for that? Who got time to start and to start all over again? So yes, I got very upset when somebody was telling me, you need to get some rest, you need to slow down a little bit, it's gonna come, just stop, you ain't gotta rush it. Or what have I'm not rushing anything. I'm at a pace, I'm at a flow, I'm in a rhythm. And when you learn a pace, a flow, and a rhythm, then you know that you're gonna move at a speed. A racer or a power walker would know, especially somebody that runs or walks, power walks, be it in profession, in the Olympics or whatever, or a sport, or even in natural, just to lose weight or to be healthy or to stay fit. You 9 times out of 10, when you're power walking, you're going and you're going and going and you're going and you're going and going. Your body goes into auto drive, and when it goes into auto drive, it's going to naturally. It's like your body is going to take over to the point that your legs start to get numb, and you don't even feel half the time that you're moving. But when you feel it? When you stop. I could walk, used to be able to walk like anywhere between 7 to 10 miles or what have you. I like walking versus running because I'm able to really think and analyze it, brainstorm and all that stuff. Maybe if I need to make a phone call or do something or whatever, I'm able to still go and not be as winded, but still get things done and be, and pray and do whatever I need to do while I'm walking. So that I like power walking. And so when I will walk, I will try to walk as much to the point that I wouldn't stop. So if I was walking, northbound and there was a light going northbound, but going east and west, the light was green, I'll walk across the street. And then if I got to cross back the street again, so I don't stop, I'll cross it back again so that when that light changes green, I'm able to move. Sometimes, and I'm going to tell you the truth, times, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. Sometimes if ain't no cars coming, I'm gonna go ahead and cut and move past that light and go ahead and cross that street because I don't want to stop the momentum. Because I know when I slow down and I stop, I'm gonna start to feel. I'm gonna start to feel it in my body. I'm gonna start to feel the tingling in my feet. I'm gonna start to feel that tension build up, and so. That's why I got upset, because when a person has never had drive or determination to get somewhere, and they have their mitigated gall to try to tell you what to do, yes, I got offended, and yes, I got upset. And I was almost to the point like, why don't you do something with your life before you tell me something about my own? Amen. But let me move on and get back to my point. Sometimes when you are trying to belong and you are trying to find your tribe and you're going through your process of discovery of who you are and you are creative and you stand out, sometimes you have to walk alone. Some of us, we are trying so hard to fit in so much with people that we don't look nothing, smell, act nothing like for the point of acceptance. It's for acceptance. You want to feel like I belong to something. You'd rather connect yourself to people that don't have the ability to undergird you, to cover you, to sow into you, to give you wisdom, give you any impartation or nothing. You will waste time connecting to people for the sake of belonging instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to find where my tribe is. I'm going to find where I belong and where I fit, and what's in me is going to connect to those that are similar, like-minded, and then we're going to be able to build some things together instead of trying to connect myself to something that is not meant for me to be connected to. And then you find yourself dealing with these contentions and these strives and these arguments and these, them manipulating you and all this other kind of stuff, is because that is the clear indicator that you don't belong. That's not the place. That's not where you are meant to be. And so we sit and we waste time, and we even have the nerve to throw God in it and say, well, God, I need you to let me know when it's time for me to move on. The devil is a liar. All these signs and these symbols and things that you've been seeing throughout this process was a thing letting you know that you don't fit in here. You don't fit in here. Let me give my other self an example. When I was back home, I did a conference and I had to linger back home in my home region or home state for a while. And this particular city where I partially grew up at is where I was staying at. And I was miserable. I was so miserable to the point that I felt like it was sucking the life out of me. And I had to make a conscious decision that I need to find my tribe. I need to go where I belong. I need to go where Rehoboth is, and that God will make room for me instead of constantly sitting here and dealing with all this contention and strife and anger and rage and all this other kind of stuff. I had to make a decision that I need to find where I belong. And I had to make a decision. I had to make a decision. Dr. Sandri Bermudez coins a phrase, not to make a decision is a decision. When you choose to stay where you are instead of finding where you belong, then you have to take the responsibility to own up to it, that I'm going to stay right here and I'm going to accept this, that this is my life. But stop complaining about it. Stop tripping about it. Embrace it and move on. But if not, shut up and do something about it. Because complaining solves nothing. So you have to find your tribe. You have to find where you belong. You have to, and in that, you have to walk alone sometimes until you get there. And once you finally come into identity, once you start to learn who you are, and you start to, and then you start building those connections or what have you, then you have the sense of I belong. And so I put this picture out because I'm putting this picture up because I put it out on Facebook yesterday because I was headed to an event or what have you. And I said, you got to look like where you're headed. That's what I put on my post. And I've been getting a lot of feedback about it or what have you, because people are getting revelation from it in that regard. And some people have actually called me and told me, and it's just a picture, but what I said about it, about myself, it gave some people enlightenment. And I mean, people was like, I was like in tears because I caught it and I got it. And so I was in the midst of this conversation with one of my best friends. And I said, when I was at this particular event and I looked like where I was headed or what have you, and I was connecting to people that are of like-mindedness and finding my tribe, I felt like I belonged. And when I couldn't put words to it at first, but when I was talking to her, I heard the word belong, and my voice started to quiver, and I started to tear up because I finally felt like I found my tribe. I found people that understand me, that we speak the same language, that we understand the same things, and that we've been through some of the same journeys, maybe in different ways, but similarities. And we was able to share and to share our different perspectives in this talk. And we was like, yeah, I went through the same thing. And we was able to share, different things that we were at and be able to share with each other and to give them enlightenment. And I was giving them enlightenment. And it was just amazing. But what it did was only solidify the fact that I know who I am. I know where I'm headed. And I'm well on my way. And I've got to be me. See, the thing about that is we are trying so hard to be what other people want us to be, with their perspective of what they want them to be, and versus being a true, authentic self. God knew he made your head big for a reason. God knew he made your feet bigger than your body. He knew that he made your ears to be as large as they are, and your nose and your lips to be full, and to give you bigger hips and a smaller waist. He knew he beautifully and wonderfully made you exactly the way he made you to be. Everything about you, your quirkiness, your awkwardness, your goofiness, from the ash on the bottom of your feet to your nappy naps on the back of your neck, he made you exactly the way he made you to be. And just because you don't look like Beyonce, just because you don't look like Idris Elba, does not mean that you are not beautifully and wonderfully made, that you are not, that you don't belong, that you don't fit in, you don't have a tribe. You do fit in. But you have to find the tribe or the people. Again, this is about finding where you belong. Where does the beacon that's going to connect to the people that I'm supposed to be connected to? As I said earlier, what's in you is going to be the magnet that is going to attract like-minded or further advanced people. And they're going to hear your language, and they're going to hear what you're talking about, and it's going to draw them in, and they're going to connect themselves to you, or you're going to connect yourself to them. And I'm telling you that once you know who you are and you have clarity of that, and know that, no, I don't fit in. I don't meet the status quo. No, I'm not going to look like and act like what you think I should look like. No, I'm not going to be in the career path and do what you think I should be. But I'm going to be my best self. I'm going to be what God makes me to be. Why? Because I know who I am. I know who I am. I don't own the rights to this music, but this song is very significant. I heard, and I played this before. Again, I don't own the rights to this song, but I heard this song over and over and over and over again while I was in Uganda. And when I was in Uganda, the word just kept blessing my life. We are chosen generation, called forth to show his excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. Do you understand that? But you got to go through something and understand where he's made you to be, what you were called to be. He's fashioned you and made you for excellence, and he knows exactly who you are, but you have to know who you are. I know who God says I am, what he says I am, where he says I'm at, because I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what he says I am, where he says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm walking in power. I'm walking in miracles. I live a life of favor because I know who I am. I'm walking in power. I'm walking in miracles. I live a life of favor because I know who I am. So I just wanted to let that marinate into your mind a little bit. To know who you are, you have to find your tribe. You have to find the people that you are meant to connect to, and that is going to be able to undergird you, or you undergird them, or what have you. That is going to help you on your trajectory. I know who I am. I've gone through enough in my life to birth me out in purpose, to give me clarity. And so when I posted up the image saying you gotta look like where you headed, that means you gotta change it up. It doesn't mean that you're faking it until you make it. It means that you're making preparation to where you're headed. Okay, I got to change this up a little bit. I can't be walking around with moo-moos all the time. I can't be walking around looking thugged out with Timbs and jeans and a nasty t-shirt. I'm going to have to brush my hair. I'm going to have to cut my hair. I'm going to have to put on some little glasses. I might have to get my little teeth fixed, do whatever I need to do because I need to look like where I'm headed. I need to, if I'm coming into wealth and I need to look like it right now. I need to look like it right now. I'm gonna tell a little bit about me, about this whole ensemble that I got on right now. Yes, it was worth about $2,500. That was the original price of it. But do you know what I paid for it? Because of favor, because of me moving and timing, I paid $200. $200, to like $250 for everything. Why? Because I know, for one, my mother taught me how to shop, but I know how to put things together and to look like where I'm headed. And I thank my mother, the fashionista herself, Regina Randall. I learned things from her. She showed me growing up as a kid how she could put a thrift store outfit together and people be like, where you get that from? She has found high-end designers right there in resale shops and all that stuff. And people are like, where did you get that from? They thought that, she got that from a high-end boutique. And she paid 50 cents for it. She paid $5 for it. And I've learned that through her. It doesn't mean that I got to go and spend up everything I got to look like where I'm headed or what have you. But you have to make a conscious effort to look like where you're meant to be. I'm gonna add to that, right? I had to take an Uber to this event was hosted in Buckhead. And I'm like, well, with gas and everything that's going on right now, the Ubers have been skyrocketed, right? And so because of that, I'm like, I'm not going to spend no $200 on an Uber XL, a sedan car to go to this event or whatever. So I'm just going to get there how I usually get there. And God set it up that both cars that I got were black sedan cars that was to be a Uber XL. And God gave me favor. Because I'm making moves in the trajectory of where God is taking my life and where he's headed. A lot of y'all that's on here that know me, you know that I've been talking about this talking about certain things for a while, but talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. What I'm getting ready to do. If you're constantly getting ready to do, then you're not doing. Let me say that again so it marinates in your spirit. If you're constantly getting ready to do, you're never doing it. You're not doing it. Because if you're getting ready to do something, that means that you haven't made the conscious decision to make a move. I'm getting ready to relocate. I'm getting ready to start this business. I'm getting ready to go back to school. I'm getting ready to, get my body in shape and lose this weight. I'm getting ready, but you ain't did it yet. You ain't did it yet. So you got to make moves. You have to make the moves. You have to do what's necessary to get to where you are meant to be. You got to do it, or it's never going to happen. Or you're going to do the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That is the definition of insanity. And you can't get mad at God. You can't get mad at your kids. You can't get mad at your pastor. You have to accept responsibility for your own actions. So find your tribe. Find where you belong. Know who you are. Find the people that speak the same language as you. And not only the same language as you, but have further advanced knowledge than you. That know more. That can really enlighten you and empower you. Because if you constantly stand around the same circles of people that say that's a yes corner to you and they think only the way that you do, then it cripples you that you can't grow and you can't evolve. So when I say find your tribe and find tribes of people that's like-minded and further advanced, that means you need both. You need both because you need to find people that speak the same language and y'all are growing together. But then you also need to find people that are further advanced than you that have been there and done it and can share revelation and wisdom and knowledge on how you can get there. So find your tribe, find where you belong, and let not the negativity in you be the magnet, but let the gifts, the talents, the purpose, the dreams, your desires that are good, be the magnet that connects you. You know, I was. I'm gonna give you. I'm telling you, this is a very kingdom or wisdom type principle. I left the business event and I got in the black sedan car, and so she asked. My driver asked, where, where you dress nice, where you come from, and I told her, I said I just came from an event or what have you, and so we proceeded on the conversation. We talked about something else or what have you, and so she was like, well, I know somebody that could actually, for doing whatever you're trying to accomplish. So you have a card or something that I can email you some information for what you were just saying that you needed. And I said, sure, no problem. Had nothing to do with my business or anything like that per se, right? So I gave her my card, and she started laughing, and the Lord said, there it is, right there. And I said, you laughing? Come on out with it. And she's like, you know what? God is funny. That's how she started. You know what? God is funny. I was like, really? How so? She said, I literally just yesterday was thinking about I need to get some postcards. It's a business card made for my new business that I'm launching. I was like, really? So we got to talking and was talking about business and talking about all this greatness and this and that third and blah blah blah. And she was asking me how long I've been in business and all that, right? Because what's in me was a magnet, and it drew a connection to her, even though she didn't know it. It drew a connection to her that we just started having conversation, and boom, I was a resource that she needed because of the connection, because of the draw that what's in me, because it resonates through my pores, it resonates through me because I know who I am. And I know where I belong, and I know the destiny that I'm moving towards, and it connected to her, and we talked the whole entire ride. And I was like, well, definitely let's stay connected or what have you. You have my info, blah, 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 and this and whatever. And so even though I had just left connecting to people so that I met them, my beacon and my light and my, or what have you, the light that dwells in me, that kingship, that mindset, that what God has put on the inside of me was a light and a beacon and a magnet to her. And she was able to understand, like, man, you got what I need. And who knows, she might have what I need. The word God says, let your light so shine that men will see your good work, right? Your good work. But it's the light in you that shines, that reveals the good work. Oh, let me say that again. It's the light that is within you that shines, that reveals your good work. It's that beacon. It's that magnet. It's that light. That's what's drawing them. And that is what's going to draw you to finding your tribe. Find where you fit. Find where you belong. And if you haven't found it yet, it doesn't mean that you're not going to find it. But you need to make sure that you're putting yourself in ways to connect to where it is. Let me give you a few examples before we get out of here, because I know my music's playing in the background. That's my theme song. So that means that we getting ready to get out of here. But here's the thing. If you are in ministry or called to a particular ministry gift, So you don't know anything about it, you're not getting the development that you need, or what have you, begin to research it out, find classes, find conferences that is going to get you what you need. And because you're in the atmosphere of what you're looking for, you'll find some of the like-minded tribe members in that atmosphere. You want to go to school and become a doctor, but nobody in your family and nobody in your neighborhood and nobody in your region is a doctor that could shed light or what have you. Okay, I'm going to go to, maybe I could intern and do some things at a hospital, or find a job and do something at a hospital so I can see how it operates and how it moves. Or I'm going to sign up for school and I'm going to go to school and I'm going to be around other tribe-like people that is going to get, that I can connect to, as well as my professors, as well as my teachers, as well as other doctors when I do my residency, that I can be able to glean from and to connect to my tribe. You have to do what's necessary to bring you to the tribe that you need to be in. Sometimes we get caught in just walking it alone and we get stuck there. But I'm saying this to you that you can make a conscious decision by looking into and finding your tribe in different ways. Doesn't necessarily mean that these people are going to be with you to the end of time. They might be only with your life temporarily. They might be in your life temporarily, but they might be there enough to help you get to where you need to be, and you can be able to move on peaceably and know, thank you for being in my life for the season of time of my life, but I'm moving forward and I'm moving on. A lot of people, and I'm just saying this, I'm closing, a lot of people right now don't really understand me because I have really shut myself away from a lot of people that are not speaking the same language. They don't understand. And when you have to go into a silent place and you have to go into a stealth-like place and you have to stay isolated, is because you have to do certain things in isolation because people just simply don't understand. And when you share things prematurely to people that don't understand, they can cause them to cause wavering in the mind. Well, maybe they was right. Maybe I do need to slow down a little bit. Maybe I might need to, I'm getting a little too ahead of myself. Maybe I'm getting too big for my britches. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. The significance about pouring oil. This is my last thought, and I'm going to be done. The significance about pouring oil or anointing someone or pouring into someone means that the person doing the pouring has to have something to pour. They have to have oil. If you have nothing that you're pouring and all you doing is talking, you blowing hot breath. And hot breath or air dissipates the second it comes out of your mouth. So it doesn't connect to the person. It's going to dissipate the moment it comes out of your mouth. But when you have oil to pour, and you're able to pour wisdom, knowledge, understanding, experience into someone's life, it's more receptive because you have oil to pour. Be mindful of that when you're connecting to people. The next people that you connect to, the next tribe that you connect yourself to, if they don't have oil to pour, then you don't need to be underneath their spout. Let me say that again. If they don't have oil to pour, then you don't need to be under their spout. Find your tribe. Find where you belong. I belong. And I know who I am. I know where I'm headed. And I'm well on my way by just simply being me. Thank you guys for tuning in. I pray that this has inspired you. If it has inspired you, I would love to hear your feedback. Please inbox me or what have you. Let me know that there's something to think about. Broadcast has been a blessing to you, as well as my Legacy Builder series. I want you to be on the lookout coming sometime during the late summer or fall. The Legacy Builder series is coming back in full effect. I got a lot of stuff going on, y'all. I need y'all to be a little bit more patient with me. I know we've been almost a year since the show, but when you are in the midst of building legacy yourself, your time is very, very limited, and I'm really trying to balance my time. And the Legacy Builder series, especially when you're doing it alone, it's a lot of work. And so I have not given up on it. It is coming back, and it's going to come back strong. And I thank you guys for your love and your support. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I bid you all blessings and favor, and find your drive. Find your drive. I'm telling you, it's going to help you advance at a rapid pace when you find your tribe. Kingdom blessings to you all, and you enjoy the rest of your weekend.